Hi there, my name is Sam and I'm the country manager of TaxDome, and we've been working with James for our template library. We've been bulking out our resources to aid the onboarding process, and in this video we would like to show you the work that we've done and what will be coming to TaxDome in the future. I'm joined here by James. Hi James.
Hi, Sam. Thank you very much for inviting me today to today's recording. I'm an ACCA qualified accountant. I trained within practice, and it's really nice to work and collaborate with the TaxDome team to share my knowledge and experience so that it can help out yourself as a manager or director within your practice and how TaxDome can actually be embedded within.
Fantastic, brilliant, thank you. So let's start talking about what we're going to be discussing in this video today. So we're first going to address what the TaxDome workflow really is. Then we're going to talk about some of our templates that we've been creating. We're also going to talk about some of the advantages of the TaxDome workflow. And then at the end, we'll talk about how these advantages can be applied to some of the pain points you might be experiencing at your firm. So by starting off, we're going to be looking at the TaxDome's workflow. So what is this? Essentially, it's an automated process for any type of tax service that you provide. It will give you a really clear insight into your ongoing tasks and work. And what's really useful is that it's fully customizable, so you can align the workflow with how you currently manage your services. Another really useful key feature is the custom schedules, which are going to be really useful when setting up these workflows with any MTD quarterly updates, for example. And lastly, TaxDome's workflows can help you automate all of your admin work. So that could be things for automated reminders. It can also automate the client activity requests, and it will check up and ensure that your clients have completed the actions on their end before triggering the next set of automations. So on the next slide, we're going to talk about our template library. And James, do you have some insight onto the templates that we've created?
Certainly. Well, for any accounting practice manager or director who owns their own firm, there are some very familiar templates that you can see there on the right-hand side that used to come up in my world quite a lot when I worked in accounting practice, when I was training to become an ACCA qualified member. Now, this is where, as you can see, we have templates of the first 9 on there, but we've been working on in the background the actual payroll and other templates that are in the pipeline that again are going to really help your actual flow of work to become more effective on there. It's a plug in and play onboarding process that you can adopt and actually adapt these templates that can be done bespokely to your practice, and the document requesting and the processes that go with it, for example, with the self-assessment tax return, operate exactly how it is in practice on there, that you would request the documents, you prepare the return and submit it. And we're going to look at later on into the recording some of those sort of icks that really hold up the process that TaxDome can help you out in your practice.
Really good point, James. And to add to that, it's also important here to note the difference between our workflow feature and perhaps other workflows. So I really want to get across in this video the fully customizable processes that firms can really incorporate into their business. And it's really 10 automations that firms can use to really create these processes and automate the services that they provide. So let's look at some of the other advantages that the TaxDome workflows bring. As we mentioned before, being fully customizable, you can align it to how your firm currently manages these processes. So for example, that could be in your branding. We have really useful features that are going to make your life much easier too. For example, auto move in our custom schedules. Auto move is that feature I was referring to earlier, where TaxDome essentially recognizes when your clients complete actions on their end and will move them in the workflow accordingly. We also talked about setting up the custom schedules and how you can have accounts automatically added to these workflows. That's going to save you lots of time. And also automating those administrative tasks, things like the automated reminders, which can be associated to organizers, contracts, messages, and invoices, are going to be really key for giving your clients a nudge in the right direction. And also saving time in the workflows is going to be key, as James mentioned, because that's going to facilitate that onboarding process, allowing you to simply copy one of these templates and then make any adjustments that you see fit. So, lastly, let's talk about some of the common pain points that firms might experience. James, what pain points do you think accountants will really want to kind of crack down on?
Wow, especially from my experience of working in an accounting practice, starting off when I was doing my studies as well. This is where, from your perspective as the manager or owner of an accounting practice, you've seen the issues, those pain points on the screen, such as deadline management. For example, if a staff member is on annual leave and maybe you've got the tax return deadline or a company year end that needs submitting. You then also have the staff resources, who's actually available. We've also linked in here about remote working. And this is one of the key things that the TaxDome actual software and templates help you out with. That no matter if one of your employees are actually working directly in the office or remote working, TaxDome will be able to, with the workflows, keep you on track to hit those deadlines, and so you don't incur any fines, and also keep a good client rapport so that your clients are happy on there. The accounting processes from start to finish on there are all taken care for throughout the process, and then also checking up on the client activity so that they feel involved with the process. You acquire, as we've all been there, trying to get the right information to submit the right returns. Overall, it gives you a much better overview how the process is going, no matter which type of accounting aspects you need to prepare on behalf of your client.
Exactly. Really valid points there. And I'm sure many people have experienced these issues and want a solution to really help them overcome these challenges. So, focusing more on these individual points, things like deadline management is really assisted with the multiple dashboards that we offer. And as we talked before about these custom schedules, automatically adding these accounts to the workflow when they're coming up to their deadlines is going to essentially automate those document requests and that whole process altogether. When we talk about managing staff resources, you mentioned some people might be going away on vacation. How do we accommodate for those staff members? Well, what we can do is we can bulk reassign the accounts in the workflow to other team members to then distribute the tasks accordingly. When we talk about accounting processes, they're very stop and start. It's very rare that it's a seamless process where the client's handing you all your information. Normally, they're forgetting to request or send documents to you. Therefore, what you can do is when your account or the account in the workflow reaches a particular review stage, you could then re-request that information and re-trigger it. We have many individual features that will help streamline that process. For example, unsubmitting organizers, which is what we use on the platform for requesting important documents and information. When we talk about remote working, we have a lot of specific features which are going to help essentially improve and streamline that communication with the remote worker and the accounting firm. So features, for example, the wiki pages, which is an internal document of a list of your standard operating procedures. Now, these are accessible as an outsourced accountant, as an apprentice. So if you have someone who's just recently joined your firm, you can always keep them up to date with how you currently manage that particular process. So really interesting to see the important pain points, the common pain points, and how we can address them using our workflow. So thank you very much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learned about the applications of TaxDome's workflow and the benefits. If you have any further questions, then please don't hesitate to reach us using the email or telephone number below. Thank you very much for your time, James. Thank you for joining, and we hope to see
Thank
you
you.
again soon.